Hi everyone. Let's see if this keeps on working. Okay. Oh, this is not going okay. Let me set up my laptop here first. Let's see. Yes, that's better. Cool. Hey. So, good evening everyone. Well, it's evening here. I don't know from where you are, what time it is now. But we just put the kids in bed, and so I thought it's perfect to do part 2 of this Facebook training. Yes, because part 1, if you've missed it, I did it earlier today. Part 1 is all about me sharing, well, all my insights and tips and tricks on how you can gain publicity within Facebook so that you can start selling more. And then it will be with more ease. Sorry, my voice. I've got a huge cup of tea, and I hope you're also ready to get started on this and get yourself something to drink, but also grab a pen and paper, because this part of the training we will be doing a bit of a hands-on training. So I want you to start thinking of what you could do next on Facebook. So I'm going to share with you even more in-depth knowledge about Facebook and how you can use that. And during this time together, I want you to start thinking of, well, posts for Facebook that you can create, or ideas, or whatever it is that comes to mind that you are going to use for your business so that you can start selling more on Facebook or with Facebook. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I would strongly suggest you to do so. And as I said before, part 1 is just covering all the basics, all my insights and tips and tricks and proven strategies for how you can start gaining more publicity. And this part is going to be exercises. So that's why I said grab a pen and paper, because we're going through all of it. Now, if you're ready for it, I would love to start with it because we have so much to cover. Okay, so exercise number 1. I want you to show yourself online. And I don't mean that in a weird way, I mean it on Facebook, on your business page, or on your brand page, whatever it is that you're offering, it's a product or whether it's a service. I know there's tons of people out there who have never before shown themselves as the owner of, or the founder of the company. That makes no sense, because you want this real connection. You want your customers or your leads to get to know you so that they will have this feeling of trust that they can actually buy from you, that it's safe to buy from you. So therefore it's important to also show yourself. Now on to the actual exercise that comes along with showing yourself. And I'm giving you, well, some time during which you will start to think of 5 different ways that you can start showing yourself on your business page within Facebook. Now that can be with a live video of pictures or a quick introduction of yourself or whatever it is. I want you to start thinking of that. And I'm going to allow you 1 minute during which I want you to write all those ideas down, and I just want you to keep on writing whatever comes up, and we're not using any logic here. It's just stream writing, which means that you're accessing the subconscious brain And that's where all your creative ideas are born. So whatever comes up, there's no need for you to think about it, just write it down. And then you'll see later on if you're going to use it or not. So I'm giving you 1 minute for 5 ideas. That's not a lot. So you should be able to do that. And time starts now. So we're done. That's 1 minute. Please stop writing now. And I hope you had a sense of ideas that came into your mind of how you can actually start showing yourself a bit more. And showing yourself on your business page, if you've never done that before, that can be scary. But the more often that you will do so, the more, well, comfortable you'll start to feel. It's the same with doing a live video as I'm doing right now for you. The more often you do this, the more practice that you're getting, and the more comfortable you'll feel around it. So showing yourself was exercise number 1. We're now on to exercise number 2. Yes, and that is a big one. That's all about sharing knowledge. And as I've mentioned in part 1, sharing knowledge is one of the most essential ways of showing yourself as the expert, whether that's with your service or the product that you're selling. You want to gain this expert status within Facebook, well, or the online world, or whatever. You just want to be the expert. You want people to see you as the expert. And in doing so, in sharing your knowledge, you will show others that you know about what you're saying and what you're selling and your products or your services. That's what we want here. So I'm again going to give you 1 minute in which you can write down ideas. Again, stream of mind conscious writing, which means no actual thinking. It's just starting to write down the answers that pop up, no thinking about if it's making any sense or not. That doesn't matter. So 1 minute, and I want you to think of 3 possible ideas for you to share knowledge. And as I said before in part 1, about a year ago I created a Facebook group, and I think I did a month of sharing different ways to tie a scarf. And I overdid myself because at first I started with 14 days or so, and then all of a sudden I kept on going, and it was just all fun. Now, that's one way of doing so, but there's tons of other ways. And for the coming minute, I want you to start thinking of 3 possible ways for you to share your knowledge. So let's do this. I'm giving you 1 minute and it starts now. Please start writing. Yep, that's it. Time's up. It was a bit more than 1 minute, but that's okay. I hope you came up with 3 cool. We will be moving on to question number or exercise number 3 as soon as I pour myself a bit more tea. Sorry, my throat is actually hurting a bit, so I need some more tea. Okay, cool. Cool. Exercise number 3. Yes, it's all about interaction, because you can start posting things on your business page or your brand page, but if no one is responding to whatever you're posting, if no one is sharing what you're posting, then what's the point? Yeah, sure, you've got all these people that are lurking around and then all of a sudden they buy from you. That's also really cool. But hey, we're doing this to get some interaction going on, right? So, next up, with the interaction, you want to ask questions. Really simple. You can ask any question you want. It's your business page or your brand page, so it's totally up to you, of course. But you could choose to have subjects that concern your service or your product, where you can just ask people like, hey, what do you like better, this color or that color? Respond please with which color you prefer. That can be done. You can even create a poll around it. Also cool. But you could also try to get to know your audience better. And that's by simply asking questions that you ask yourself, for example, or that you would like to know of your audience. For me, I recently did a question about, okay, what's on your bucket list? This and this is on mine. Please share me yours. What's the one thing that you want to do before you die? And that way you can really interact with people and you can get the sense of making this real connection with your audience. But it could also be something really simple like, what kind of coffee do you prefer to drink? Black or cappuccino, or I don't know, whatever, an espresso or whatever. Simple questions like that. Now, for this exercise, I want you to start thinking of 5 subjects that you are going to ask questions about on your business page or brand page. So again, I'm giving you 1 more minute to write 5 subjects down with which you are going to create more interaction on your page. So I'm going to shut up, start drinking more tea, and then you can start writing now. 5 subjects. Yes, that's it. Time's up. Yes, I hope you wrote some really cool subjects down that you are going to start working on. And as I said before, it can be anything. It really doesn't matter as long as you're creating this interaction with your target audience. Now, next up is something that combines, well, social media, but also a bit that I use in my coaching business, with more like the personal development. Because it's around being your authentic self. And this can be challenging, because you do have to know who you really are, but it's actually simple to understand if you look at yourself and how you are as a person, how you act when you're around people that know you the best, when you're around people that you really trust and that you feel comfortable around, like friends or your partner or your family. How are you among them? Perhaps you're a bit crazy. Perhaps you're even a bit loud. Perhaps you're dancing around the house, I don't know, or singing, whatever. Or maybe you're just this really silent and kind and loving person. Or perhaps you're straight up direct, telling everyone what it's like and just no filter. Could also be. Everything is okay, right? But as I said before, it's looking at yourself, at who you really are, at your core. And that can be found by looking at how you act around other people. And then you're showing that person online, on Facebook. Because so many people have this idea that on Facebook you have to present this perfect little picture of yourself without any flaws or whatever. Everything has to be perfect. But we're all human, and no one's perfect. We're all a bit crazy or loud or whatever, and it's all okay. But it's important for you to show that on Facebook. Because what I said before, you want other people to get to know you, the real you. Not the one showing off with a perfect so-called life, but the real one. So, what I want you to do for this exercise is think of 3 facts about yourself that you want other people to know. And so if you're funny, think of 3 funny facts about yourself. If you like singing, think of 3 posts that involve something around singing. So I just want people to get to know you, the real you. So I'm going to give you again 1 minute, and in that minute you're going to start writing down 3 of those facts that you want other people to know about you, your authentic self. So 1 minute, and it starts now. Yes, that's it. Time's up. Stop writing, please. Okay, next up. Exercise number 5. Entertainment, or being entertaining. We all know that people love funny movies, or watching funny movies online, or watching touching videos, or these crazy memes with animals or kids or whatever. That's entertainment. Now I want you to name 5 ideas for future posts about subjects that you are going to post on your page that are highly entertaining. And it should be easy because there's so many stuff to find. But I'm going to give you 1 minute, sorry, for you to start thinking of 5 funny or otherwise entertaining posts. And as I said before, could be animal videos, touching videos, or memes, or something about kids doing crazy stuff. It could be anything. But I want you to start thinking of and writing it down 5 future posts that are entertaining. And time starts now. Okay, that's it. Time's up again. We're on to exercise number 6. And that is about selling or a sale. Funny thing is that there's business owners out there who just totally forget to ask for a sale. That forget to ask people to buy from them. Now, that shouldn't be the case, obviously, but when I heard this first, I was shocked. Like, how do people forget to ask customers or potential customers to buy anything from you? But the more I started to think about it, I was like, yes, but there's a difference. Because you can ask it once on a day, but you could also say it like multiple times a day, and then there's a big difference between the result. But there's something else. You can ask people gently to buy from you, which then most of the times comes over as you begging them to buy, like, oh, please buy from me. And somehow the human brain doesn't really cope with that. It just shuts down and is like, oh, I need to run away from here as fast as I can. But what does work is demanding a sale. Now that might sound a bit crazy or harsh or too direct, but it really works like that. When you start to combine a bit of urgency, like, oh my gosh, there's only a couple of pieces of this item left, and you combine it with buy it now, please, forget the please. You just tell your customers or your potential customers, go get it now. Simple, right? So you combine both the urgency bit, which makes the human brain go totally nuts, like, oh my gosh, there's only a few items left, so I need to be fast, I need to have this, and combine it with the fact that you are demanding them to buy, buy it now, go get it, hurry up, that just somehow does something to the consumer's brain and it makes them want to buy it. So this is a bit of a different way of creating sales online, and that's why I'm going to give you 1 minute for thinking of one post only in which you combine both the urgency part and the demanding part. So what I want you to do in the coming minute is think of one product or service that you want people to buy and start writing a post for that in which you combine the urgency and the demand. So 1 minute for one post about one product or one service that you're offering. Time starts now. Start writing, please. So that's it. And as I've mentioned before a couple of times, it really doesn't matter if it's not making any sense what you're writing down now. I just want creative juices flowing, and I just want you to start writing things down, and later on you can still process everything and rewrite it, but it's now more the exercise that you start to get used to doing it this way. Because as I said, it's creative process, and yeah, the logical mind most of the times cannot keep up with that, so it doesn't matter. Just write everything down. All the ideas that keep popping up, just write them down, and then later on you can see what you do with it. So on to number 7, exercise number 7, and we're almost finished. Only 2 left. So exercise number 7 is one of that. I want you to plan a live video. Haha, yes. Okay, as I mentioned in part 1, Facebook algorithm, yeah, it exists. Of course it exists. But there's so many cool ways that you can work with that, and doing live videos is one of the most fascinating ways of making sure that your video, that your content is being shown on Facebook, because it's a Facebook kind of video. It's made on Facebook, which Facebook loves because it doesn't want people or users from Facebook being redirected to other websites. It wants people or users from Facebook to stay on Facebook. And that's what a live video does. Now, I know that many people have never done a live video. And I also know that there's this big fear around doing a live video, because all of a sudden you have to present yourself, you have to talk, and you have to, I don't know what you tell yourself that you have to be. But I remember for myself, when I first started this, I was like, oh, I have to do my hair like this, and I have to, all my makeup, I have to be really nicely dressed and all. And what do I say? Oh my gosh, let's write everything down, every sentence that I want to say, so that I don't forget anything. Now, the more often you do this, the easier it gets, and you just, well, you can either make some notes and then just go on, or make no notes at all and just be yourself. I have done live videos where I'm sitting in my gym outfit after having gone to the gym, still sweaty and still not showered, but who cares? I needed to discuss something, so I did. And it really, really doesn't matter. It's all about showing yourself, your true self. And what you have to say is way more important than the way you present it, as in the way you dress or your makeup or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the message that counts. Now, most people looking at a live video will comment like, oh my gosh, you're doing a live video, that's so cool. And they will not notice that you're not wearing any makeup or whatever. It's just you being afraid to show yourself like that. It's all your insecurities coming up. So what I want you to do is actually plan a live video. And I don't mean it like, okay, I'm going to do that next month or something. No, I want you to plan it now. Start thinking of doing a live video, I don't know, tomorrow evening, or perhaps just straight after this video. And to make sure that you're not canceling it, because that's what happens. Like, oh, I've got this plan, I'm going to do this tomorrow, but then all of a sudden it's tomorrow and you're like, oh, I'm freaking out. No, this is not the right time to do this. So I have all these excuses that I don't need to do it. So in order to prevent that, I want you to post it up front on your Facebook page saying, I will be going live in whatever, an hour, or I will be going live tomorrow at this and this time. Come and check my video out tomorrow at this and this time. That way you're connecting yourself already, you're making this connection and saying to yourself that you are going to do this live video. So there's no way of canceling it. So that's what I want you to do. And I don't even think you need a minute for it, but I'm going to give you a minute to figure out when you are going to do this live video. And as I said before, it's not going to be something in a month or so. It should be like in the coming hours or tomorrow at latest. And I want you to start thinking of the subject. So that's what I want you to do in this coming minute. Write it down. Write down when you're going to do it. Commit to doing that at that time. And then you're going to post it online after the video training. You're going to post online that you're doing a live at the time that you chose. And you are now going to find the subject about which you're going to talk. So 1 minute to figure all of that out. And it starts now.
Why did you do that, man? You're trying to leave me, aren't you? No, I just want your trust. Oh my.
Yes, that's it. Time's up. Okay, last one. So as I mentioned in part 1 of this video training, everything is all about how you balance the things you do on a day with this percentage of your activities being mindset work and your percentage of being the actual work. Right? It's 80% mindset, 20% work. That's what most really successful people do. But in order to be able to do that, you need to have systems in place. And Facebook has this really cool feature with which you are able to plan posts ahead. So during this training, this part 2 training, you have started to write down all these ideas for posts. And the thing is to actually create these posts, all of them, and then you start planning it in Facebook. That means that you've got like, I don't know how many posts that you already figured out the subjects of. You even wrote a bit of content for your posts. And now you're going to plan it in Facebook, schedule it, which will then save you time for the coming days. And I have been doing this for, what's it, 3.5 years now. And I honestly hate having to post a single post every single day. And to be honest, for our online stores, I post, I don't know how many posts per day, like way more than one. It's kind of up to 4 or 5 per day. And if I would have to do that all day long, like, oh my gosh, it's almost, I don't know, whatever time I want to post. It's 10 o'clock and I want to post something at 10 o'clock, then all of a sudden I need to drop everything and start posting it or creating the post first. And then the same at 12 o'clock or at 3 in the afternoon, and then at 5, and then in the evening again. Why would I want to do that? I mean, I want to be able to do other things for my business or spend time with my kids and my family and my husband. And I want the freedom to be able to do that. That's why we have all these systems. And that is why you need to plan ahead. So that's what I want you to do after this training, to actually start creating all these posts and start scheduling it, start planning it. You now have this idea of what it is that you can actually post on Facebook, things that will help you gain more publicity and help you therefore sell more with the help of Facebook. And by planning ahead, you will then save time during the day, which gives you more time to do other things. And that could be work related or just family or whatever. But that's what I want you to do. Now, this was the entire training for Facebook. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. And I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.